Hello everyone, this is Andrew T once again coming at you with my vlog here. This time we're going to be reviewing the new Lego Batman movie. Last time we reviewed Rogue One and did not enjoy it, and it's kind of the same thing with this Lego Batman movie. I went and saw it in the theater in 3D, and for a movie that was touted very highly and making a ton of money, kind of like Rogue One, I didn't have any expectations going in, just like the original Lego movie, but the YouTuber I subscribe to and whose opinion is pretty close to my own is Angry Joe. He and both of his friends both gave it a perfect 10 out of 10. So I was like, okay, this has got to be just as good as the original. Well, in short, it's not. They used a one-off joke in the Batman character in the first Lego movie and tried to stretch out into 2 hours, and I kid you not, 2 hours of just kind of samey, lame jokes and a overall moral of the story about relationships, believe it or not. So I was very disappointed. If it comes down to it, I would probably saw it on Netflix or maybe gotten it from a Redbox if it came down to it, but not worth going to see it in the theater, especially in 3D. Overall, I thought the characters were weaker than the first Lego movie just because it's in the Batman universe technically, and the Lego universe. They only refer to the Master Builders like once because Batman had to build something and he went to like Master Builder mode. But the plot is pretty good in the first act. Batman versus the Joker, in the Lego Gotham City. So he's doing his thing, he's Batman, whatever. But the undertones throughout the entire movie are basically, you're not Batman without everyone else you're fighting against. So, kind of like, the Odyssey, he doesn't realize that to the very end. Without all these other people, I'm not whole. So without all his villains, Batman's really got nothing. He doesn't have any family, any friends. The Justice League doesn't like him that much because in this universe, Batman's a douche. So, of course, the Justice League is like, we're not going to invite you anywhere, do anything, and we kind of don't want you around or don't care if you're around. But that's how the whole movie is. It's just like they're trying to get sympathy for the Batman, Lego Batman, but you just don't feel it. Because, for one thing, like I said, it was good for him in a small dose in the original Lego movie just because he came in, it was a pretty funny shtick for a small dose, and then he got out of there and had one little thing at the end, and that was it. That's all you saw of him. It was great, but why they thought he was a strong enough character, I guess because the DC license to make a whole Lego movie about, it did not have the same amount of humor that the first Lego movie did. And the first Lego movie, I'm going to compare it to it a lot because the first Lego movie was awesome. It had humor and jokes and kind of, tongue-in-cheek scenes almost seemed like every 2 minutes. And they threw so many jokes at you that it was just, even if you didn't laugh, you at least smiled through the whole thing. This one was just kind of like, little tidbit here, Easter egg there. They make references to different things like Suicide Squad, stuff like that. And it just mostly falls flat. Instead of trying to go for quality humor, they just kind of went with, the one-trick pony of, oh, I'm Batman, I'm awesome. And, I'll throw in a one-liner here and there. But everyone around him acts normally compared to him. Like the Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, acts normally. Alfred the Butler acts like a normal person, like in everyday life would act. The only one that's kind of his equal in absurdity that's introduced is his sidekick Robin, who comes in later on in the movie. He's all in on the Batman thing. He's like, oh yeah, just do everything Batman says. I'm all in on this. Whatever wacky things come my way, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna take in stride. I'm just like, okay. Kind of annoying character, but I guess I get it. He's part of the universe. I'll also suspend disbelief. But then you have the two other characters that are literally, this is after Batman. Those are the three other main characters that have the most screen time are Alfred, Robin, and Barbara Gordon. So to have 2 out of the 4 of those act like normal people would, and then the other 2 just act insane, it makes for a weird dichotomy and a weird, kind of flow to the movie. So there's a lot of great action in it for Legos. There's a lot of stuff they throw at you. There's the negative zone, which is basically not just a Superman thing. It's where all the evil villains go, and so you kind of got to see all these different universes come through and all these different villains, which is cool. It's how Lego should be. That should have been the main plot of the whole thing. But again, even with all that, all this action, fighting against all these different villains across various sci-fi and comics and movie universes, it always comes back with a sledgehammer to this moral of the story. Your relationships matter. Don't take your relationships for granted. Stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I get it. Please stop. Nope, hit me in the head with it again. Alright, it's like Harley Quinn with that freaking huge hammer just hitting you every 5 minutes, it seems like, with this moral of the story. I'm like, okay, Legos is a kid movie. It's a kid oriented movie because it's Legos, but this was about adult issues and problems. So to go from, oh yeah, let's make a Lego movie with all these wacky things, and villains and bad guys, and then take an adult theme like, relationships and serious relationships, long-term relationships. They threw every kind of relationship at you on this thing, and just to have that morality just shoved down your throat every 5 minutes, they can't get away from it. So that really brought the enjoyment of the movie down with me a ton. Visually, the movie's awesome, just as good as the first one. I can't argue with that. Visually, the movie's short of stunning, just from the effects they have and everything else. The characters did a good job voice acting. I have no qualms about that. They had a couple of decent jokes in there as well, so I got a couple chuckles, but nowhere near as much smiling as in good time as I had in the first film. So overall, it's gonna make a ton of money. People are gonna go see it maybe once or twice for the hardcore fans. Like the Lego fans will go see it probably twice, and the DC fans, and the uber nerdy types will probably go see it just because there's so many different Easter eggs in there and universes you probably missed it the first time until it comes out on DVD. You want to see it again. So it's already made a ton of money. Let's see what else. Yeah, like I said, voice acting was good. Overall story mediocre. Pacing was decent. They had a couple of slow spots where they just seemed like, okay, we got to fill this with something, so let's have Batman beatbox for like a minute and a half. Okay. Like I said, it's a kid's movie, it's fantasy, whatever, but I was just like, compared to your first outing, I just thought this one lacked. So if I had to give it a score of like 1 to 10, with Lego Movie being like, I don't know, a 9.5 or close to a perfect 10 just for pure enjoyment, I have to give this one about a 6. Maybe if you overlook some of the morality, maybe a 7 just for the everything that get crammed in 2 hours. So like I said, you got your money's worth. But I wouldn't see it again, and I wouldn't recommend anyone seeing it in the theater. I'd say, hey, wait for it to come to DVD or Netflix or Redbox, or if you have a dollar cinema in your town, a dollar cinema, because overall it just wasn't that good. Anyway, that's about all my opinions on that matter. I'm gonna end the vlog here. Once again, thank y'all for coming out and at least listening to me ramble on about my most recent movie I've seen. This is Andrew T. coming at you, and y'all have a good one.